Hey coaches, welcome back to Flag Football Nation. I'm Coach Adam, and today we're going to be going over 8 plays how to beat the 4-1 defense. And so, as you can see, this is a little bit different of a format. I feel like to be able to get content out to all of you in a consistent manner, I feel like this would be easier than the standard whiteboard and me standing in front of the camera talking to you all. Uh, than, and also this would be a little bit more organized. So just let me know how you feel about this format versus the other format. Feedback is always appreciated. The program that I am using is called Playmaker X. It's a fantastic playgroup maker. Anything like that. It is subscription based. So if you want, this is not sponsored by any means. This is just a program that I like to use to create my playbooks, my call sheets. The subscription starts at $7.99 for an individual, and you're able to do a lot of things as well. If you need, to print wristbands, you can do that as well. So with this, that's what I go for. But going on into it, what is the 4-1 defense? Well, the 4-1 defense, as far as I see it, is four defenders lined up across, usually at the 7-yard marker for NFL flag. That is our rush line. And then we have one safety in the back who is usually the best player on the defense who can cover a lot of the field. So this linebacker here and this rusher here, they will be the one of the two guys to rush. So they will either he will rush and he will guard the middle, or vice versa, if you wanted to flip it that way as well. So that's usually how that works. And then these corners are usually on an island, and the safety has usually the middle deep, or it can just cover whoever's going deep. It just depends. But this defense in particular in the league that I had just coached in, um, there was one team that was running it as far as I could see, and then by the end of the season, it seemed like everybody adapted it. So this may be what you guys are experiencing, and so I feel like in this new series where I go over plays that beat certain coverages and certain defenses, we can, defeat defenses together. Okay, so that is the 4-1 defense, and then we'll go ahead and get into our first play. And so the first play is very simple. This is our quick game. It's just simply called outs. If you want to do a more fancier name, it's our ace outs for play, and it's really simple. The X has a go, the Z has a go, and then the Y and the center are running 5-yard outs. And so what this does is it makes we always the weakness of this defense is going to be the deep half here and the deep half of the deep half here and then underneath. And so what we want to do is we want to put this corner or this corner in a bind and make him have a choice. And so what I tell the quarterback is whoever's rushing, if it's this guy, we're going to read this side. If it's this guy, we're going to read the left side. So wherever the blitz is coming from, that's where you're reading because that's where the cornerback's going to be put to a bind here. So if he's here, he's got middle right here. He's on an island and he's on an island. And then the safety's got deep back here. Now we have two guys on one corner. Corner's got to make a choice. Is he going to go deep to go with um, the go, or is he going to stay and cover up the out route? That is his choice. And then as long as the quarterback's right, the defense will always be wrong. Because what we want is we want these receivers to line out wide. We want them to line out wide so that that safety doesn't have the room to come over and be able to play that ball. So that's ideally what we want. and then vice versa. If it's flipped to the other side and he's not blitzing, he has the middle, and then he's blitzing, and then this other linebacker has the middle, then we're going to be reading the left side. So then it's the same thing. So that's what's beautiful about this concept in general, is because of the fact that it's a mirror concept. It's the same on both sides. Okay. So this is what I would start out with. This would be the first couple plays that we play against this defense. We want to, maybe we hit something deep, and now this safety's looking for deep balls, and so we'll move into our next play, which is curls. And as you can see, it's a little bit different. We have the X and the Z now running 10-yard curls. We're going to come back to 8 yards, while the Y and the center are still running 5-yard outs. And so what that does is it's now you're still doing the same thing. You're still reading this corner, but now this safety is looking deep. He's looking for the ball deep. We're selling. The Z and the X are both selling like we're going deep. And then we're going to break it off and come back to the football. And so, again, it's a mirror concept. Same thing on both sides. So whoever's blitzing, whether it's this guy here or this guy here, that's the side we're reading, and then we're going to based off of what this corner does. Whatever he does, he's wrong as long as our quarterback is right. And so I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory between this play and this play. It's the same read. So we're just reading one guy based off of where the blitz is coming from. Okay? So next is going to be stick. That's another wonderful play. The way we read that is we read the Z first. We go to the center second. We go to the Y third. Okay? So what we're doing is we're putting two players in a bind, no matter if they blitz from the right or the left. Okay? So this corner is going to have to make a choice whether or not he's going to go deep. He's got to go deep, or he has to come back and play the center. That's solely dependent on him. While this guy has to choose, if he's not blitzing, between the hitch or the flat by the center. So this slant here, its sole purpose is to, if this guy's coming, if he's blitzing, now this guy's going to be occupied by this slant coming across, because he's going to get to his zone and then see that slant coming across, and now he has to make a choice too between the slant and the hitch. Now that's best case scenario. So if you have this here where he's blitzing and he has to play zone this way, he has to play zone, it's still the same scenario. This cornerback's going to make a choice. Usually, if the Z's going deep, the corner's going to go deep too. And so now you can pick your poison, whether you want to hit your center and your flat, let him get upfield, or you can hit your hitch and he can get upfield. It's totally up to you. Just depends on, what you want to teach your quarterback. I teach my quarterback that the center is the second read, so that's usually where we're going to go. The center's got to secure the catch and just get upfield, get as many yards as you can. And so that's another fantastic play against this 4-1 defense. So now let's say we're hitting them too quick. Maybe they don't want to send the blitz anymore. Well, now we can move on to another play, another air raid staple, and that is switch. So now switch, what we're doing is the Z is going to go 10 yards in between these two guys, 10 yards, and sit down. And then the corner's again going to be having to make a choice. And this works even if they want to run man, because if the corner is going to man up on the Z and he's going to go that way, now the Y is going to go behind the Z and go deep, and so now this guy's got to run through all this traffic to hit this wheel. Okay, so it's totally dependent on, and if they want to go man, if they want to go zone, this corner's still going to have to make a choice, and this guy's going to have to make a choice. Does he leave to go to the flat? Well, that opens up this curl right here. Does he stay? If he stays, then that opens up the flat. Now, if they want to go here and the cornerback wants to come down, then we got the wheel too. And then this out, you can make it an out, you could make it a post. It's entirely your choice. If you want to make it a post, now the safety becomes back over here to guard the wheel. Now we have the post deep. There's plenty of options. Now this play is, just dependent on if they blitz. I mean, if they don't blitz. So now if they do blitz, you probably don't want to call this play. You want to go back to your quick game, get the ball out quick, let your players make a play, and then we'll go from there. All right. So we'll go on to the next play, which is our, let's say, I often say you want to unbalance a balanced defense. So what does that mean? Well, a balanced defense is if you split it right down the middle, it's the same on both sides. So for instance, this would be a balanced defense because if you draw a line down the middle, it's the same on both sides. There's two guys over here, and you split the safety right down the middle. So you want to unbalance a balanced defense. You want to put more guys over to one side than you would on the other. And so this would be trips right for us. And so what we're doing with this curl flat seam out of our trips right formation or early is that we're going to put this cornerback on a bind again. And so we're just going to be reading corner here, because if this guy comes and this guy goes to the middle, plays zone, now this corner's stuck. He's completely stuck. He either has to choose the curl or has to choose the out. It's not, he doesn't have an option. He's got to choose one, and as long as our quarterback is right, the defense will always be wrong. Now this X seam right here, this X seam is entirely to make this safety have to commit to him. If he does not commit to him, we'll throw it to him. But most times than not, he's going to commit to him. And so what this does is the center here is he occupies this middle defender. Now we're not worried about this corner over here. This corner isn't going to make a play on what we're reading on the other side of the field. And so even if it's flip-flop and he goes over here to guard the middle while the linebacker blitzes, it's the same ball of wax. The corner's still got to make a decision. And as long as our quarterback is right, the cornerback will always be wrong. And so continue on with trips. Now we have our slot fade X seam. And it's pretty much the same thing. If this corner's got to make a decision here. So the seam occupies the safety, and then this cornerback's got to make a decision. Now, he's going to be looking at the Z in front of him, and they see the Z run a little hitch. He may stay there while we have the slot fade having to go down the right sideline. We're able to hit that for a big gain. Even if they want to run man, it's still the same thing. What we want, if they run man, whether it's a cover one situation where they don't blitz, or if it's a cover zero situation where, let's say they got somebody blitzing and now this corner's guarding the center, he's guarding the Y, he's guarding the Z, and he guards the X. Well, based off of this leverage, the center's going to be open just based off of leverage since he has a route breaking to the right, and now the corner's already on the left. And so what we're doing is we're overloading the right side to where they have to have 4 guys to cover the right side, which in this defense, if you want to blitz, you're not going to be able to do that. Just based off of pure alignment. And that's what we want to do, is we want to unbalance a balanced defense. And so even if it's, this guy's got to make a decision, corner, if this guy blitzes and this guy plays zone right here, he's got to make a decision. Either he comes and stays with the hitch, or he goes back and guards the slot fade. He can't guard both. And that's what we want to do. We want to put this corner in a bind while occupying the safety so that we take advantage of this top right part of the field. And you can do the same thing. If you want to flip it, you can do that. It's just entirely up to you what your preference is. If you have a left-handed quarterback, I would say flip it. If you have a right-handed quarterback, keep it on the right. It's entirely up to you. Just pure coach's decision. All right, moving on. We'll go on to a zone beater. This is our trips flood. And so, you know, this is um, a typical concept with a little bit of a twist with this X whip route. So what we're doing is we're selling like we're going inside, and then we're going to plant our left foot and come back out. And so what this does is this makes this guy have a little bit of hesitation. If he starts to come in, he may guard him a little bit harder, and then now he has to catch up whenever we plant our left foot and cut out to the sideline. But really, what we want is if they aren't blitzing, we want this cornerback to be put into a bind. And if they are blitzing, what we're doing is we're sending two guys deep to really push this cornerback, and then we're selling like we're going to the middle and we're going to cut out, and that's going to be our hot our hot read. While this center is occupying this guy. So in that typical fashion, now if they want to run zone with no blitz, which I haven't seen very often, usually they send the blitzer every single time. Um, Now using these plays, they may not. So if they're going to run strictly zone, that's okay with us too. We got time. And so what we're doing here is since we're using space and we want this Z lined up as far to the sideline as you can, we're creating space. The safety's got to guard the entire field. And so our field dimensions are 70 by 30 yards. Okay, 35, something like that. Typical NFL flag dimensions. And so what we're doing is we want to use space to make this guy have to cover the entire part of the field. So this corner, he's going to have to make a choice whether or not he's going to have to go deep, or he's going to have to guard the deep out, or if he wants to guard the little width, I guess you could say. He has to make that choice, and then this other backer has to make a choice too. Most of the time, he's going to guard the short route because he's not going to see what the Y's doing. He's just going to stand there for a minute, see that this guy's breaking out. He's probably coming down. So ideally, what we want is we want to hit this out route coming across at 10 yards and be able to hit that for a nice gain and be able to take it to the house if we want to, if that's what they decide to do if they don't blitz. So that's trips flood. We're going to move on to um, our final play, which is the trip smash X seam, and very similar to the slot fade and the curl flat. We're targeting the top right, top left. If you flip it, that open space in the deep, while also having stuff underneath that allows for quick gains if they decide to blitz, and we don't want to get pressure in our face or be a sitting duck waiting for routes to develop. So what this does using space is it puts, once again, this corner in a bind. Now what we want is, again, like in the slot fade, he's going to be seeing the hits and he's going to come down. And then that allows the corner to go deep. And since the X seam is to keep this safety occupied, we're really isolating this corner here. And so if the corner goes back, we'll throw the hitch. If the corner comes up, we'll play. We'll throw the corner. And so let's say again, if they run man with a blitz, I'm just trying to think of other options. I haven't seen anything else. This is a defense where they usually have one coverage, and they usually sit in that coverage. And if you beat them on it, they usually won't adjust, is what I've seen. It's very hard to run a different coverage than basically uh, either one of these guys is blitzing and the other guy's covering him with a zone in the middle, or they both play zone. You can do other things with it, like if you wanted to run an inverted, um, cover two, you could do that. If you wanted to run kind of a cover three with no flats, you could do that. Um, But really, what I've seen is the coverages that I've been showing you. This is just based off of my experience. If you want to run this defense and do a little more exotic things with it, you definitely can. It's able to do so. I'm just trying to speak from my experience. Um, but really, what we're doing is we're trying to put this corner in a bind. Even if they run man, that that's totally fine with us. If they decide to blitz here and they run man this way, we got two options here. Obviously, the center might be the better option since that, he's got an well, it would be an outbreaking route to the right side, and the corner's got a guard him. Um, Even if it was flip-flop and the corner's the one that's blitzing, while the linebacker is the one that's man up on him, that's still a favorable matchup for us, just because of the fact that you know he's out leveraged here. Um, Another thing you can do is if you see that they're playing man, but this safety doesn't want to come up and play man, and he wants to stay back at his 15-yard range, what you can do is you can, call a huddle, be like, hey, we're going to call trips right, smash X seam. What I want you to do, talk to your X and your quarterback, is if you see man, but the safety staying back and you're leaving uncovered, you can just make a little quick throw right in this area right here and get easy gains that way. And I guarantee you they'll get out of it and get back into something that we want. Um, so that is 8 plays against the 4-1 defense. I hope you guys have enjoyed this content. Tell me about this format. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you like seeing my ugly mug? Do you not like seeing my ugly mug? Let me know. If you want early access to videos that you won't see on YouTube, subscribe to the Patreon, help support the channel. Plans as low as $5 a month just to help your boy out. So it's been a pleasure, guys. Looking to post more videos soon. This is Coach Adam, Spike Football Nation, redefine the game.